Have you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Grow! Yeah! Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.beastownmedia.co.za.
We come a long way. Obviously, since we started operating these casinos, we've been involved in CSI for reasons that will become clearer during this interview. So we spend money as partners with the communities in which we operate. This money is obviously a factor of how well we do profit-wise, but it's a constant spend that we do. So if you give you an indication, in the past 5 years, in totality, it's just above 700 million rand. We are in the year of the centenary of the great leader of this nation, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. He has a number of things that he said about education, but one of them is that education is a very important tool that you can use to change the world, and we honestly do believe that. But in our case, of course, we're talking about communities. We honestly believe that if you're going to make an impact on communities, one of the things that you need to do is to educate the communities in which you operate, because one educated person pulls along a whole lot of other people, first with the family, immediate family, and then of course the greater community. And obviously being a role model, other kids are also inspired to take education on. So it's really what we believe in. In fact, Madiba also says that using education, that's how you have a son of a farm worker becoming president of the country, and in his case, that's exactly what happens in his case. First, and obviously the impact is always first with the community, because that's where you want it at first. Because if you've now partnered with your community and they are educated, so they will either deliver goods and services to you that give you sustainability. Then of course, because then when they supply those, then obviously the supply continues and the money gets flowing. Similarly, with every skill that is imparted, then it can be brought back and help the business. Similar with employees, as you educate employees, it means you can provide better service, quicker service, and work better. And of course, that's what sustainability is about. But more importantly, also you also want to be relevant. If you're not relevant with your employees and or the community that you operate in, you certainly cannot be sustainable as a business. To be honest, I think one of the greatest things that I think we see in CSI spend is that you need to have partners, but more importantly to be relevant. In our case, we believe our partners should actually be first the employees as well as the communities in which you operate. Because if you're not relevant, you could be spending $1 billion each year, but not making any impact. Because to give you a crude example, the nearest community to Monte Casino is a community in Deep Sloot. Now, you could spend $1 billion building surfing academies and training people, bringing best coaches from overseas and all over the world. But where are they going to use those skills? Because there is no beach in Deep Sloot, so you need relevance. So when you speak to employees and communities which are beneficiaries of a CSI, then you are relevant because you're spending money where the need is. Similarly, this year we continue spending on what we're spending on, because we also believe these projects must be sustainable. But of course, it doesn't mean that there can never be any changes. But whatever change is made has to be made with discussion and consultation with the communities and employees who are beneficiaries of these programs. One of the oddest things for some people, but for us is very simple. If you have to be in business, you want to be sustainable. So meaning that you want to be there in 100 years to come. And you can only do that if you are responsible and conscious about what you're doing. For example, a person that comes in and plays all their money in 1 month and they become bankrupt, that can never be a good customer, because unfortunately next year and next month you still have bills to pay. So you need a person that will come in, play within their means, according to budget, so that they can be your customer for the rest of their lives. And that's what sustainability is about. So yes, casinos, we want people to come gamble and what have you, but we also want to do it responsibly, which is why we do the work that we do with the South African Responsible Gambling Foundation, which is why we fund it, and we're the biggest funders of that organization, because unfortunately it is very important for our business that that people do actually gamble responsibly, and then we can be sustainable as a business. To be honest, is this year we don't envisage much to have changed, because what happened is comparing the year that we just finished with the previous year, is our revenues declined as an industry. And of course with that it means that money that is available to spend actually does go down. So you focus first on sustaining what we have, and then you can then explore and see what changes you can do going forward, which we're not at that stage yet. Obviously we will continue spending the money that we spend, doing the work that we do, which we believe is great work. But you know, there is a student organization that existed for years that shall remain nameless for now, but the slogan was each one teach one. You know, if we could get to a stage where and in this case I mean it in a broader sense, you know, where a person got skills as a welder, they take one other person with and they train them, and so that to become plumbers. Where someone has been sent to become an educator or a teacher, as they are usually known, then they have one other person that they take through to varsity, because they receive funding from CASA or its members. That will be great, because what will then happen is that the same rent that you have can then be much bigger and impact much more many lives than just the people that get direct funding from CASA members.
For more stories like these, go to www.social-tv.co.za, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on our social mediums.